one of the assistant city managers at the city, and we welcome you here to this great occasion to fulfill our new program, Operation Clean Water, right here next to Parkview Island and Parkview Island Canal. I won't spend a lot of time. I just want to say thank you to everybody. Thank you to the mayor and commissioners for allowing this program to go forth. I think it's very important that these things are highlighted and that we take charge of issues such as what we're having here. With that, without further ado, I'm going to introduce Mayor Stephen Minor to say a few words about what we're doing here today. Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming out. This is beautiful. Amy, thank you for all the trees and making it so nice. So Parkview Canal, we've been dealing with this issue obviously for a number of years. Thank you, Commissioner Fernandez, for sponsoring. It's interesting. This has been such an ongoing issue that several years ago, it might even be before you were on the commission, I actually sponsored an item relating to this. But I'm glad that you've taken this on because it's such an important issue. I've actually said in other areas relating to whether it be our water quality, it's a public safety issue, absolutely. I talk a lot about public safety and law and order, but this is right up there. Our water quality has to be the best, and that's one of the reasons why our city has devoted so much, and our commission has really done a great job of moving projects along. Sewer main projects, water main projects. I won't get into all of them. There are a lot of them, but this is absolutely critical. So, thank you for everyone. Our commission is united on this. It's taken a bit to get to the point where we are, but I think we're getting to a better place. And obviously today doing a cleanup shows the community involvement in highlighting this issue. I'd always like to thank our commissioners, Commissioner Fernandez, I mentioned, Commissioner Bott, Commissioner Magazine. Am I missing anybody who's here?
Omar.
I was saving Omar the best for last. No, our communities, our city is absolutely best and at its best when we have community leaders like Omar who challenge us, who bring issues to the forefront, who make sure that we are doing the jobs that we're supposed to be doing. And Omar, you've taken a tough issue. This is a tough one. It's been a long go. It's been a long haul. And but I think, as you see, our commission is committed to this cleanup and making sure that our water quality is absolutely the best. And we've put the resources behind it to make sure that we have the studies and the proper expertise, and obviously our city administration that's dealt with this issue for years as well, and trying to get us to the place that we need to be in water quality. But thank you for taking the lead for your neighborhood in North Beach. Am I introducing anybody? Commissioner Fernandez.
Thank you, everyone, for being here, and I'm really proud to stand here together with my colleagues because the work that we do is a united front to address this issue as one community for our shared environment. And it really is too long of a time that this canal has been suffering with the environmental challenges, and the only way that we can restore our environment and the water quality that this neighborhood deserves is through a unified force like this. And so I'm just truly honored to be working alongside such dedicated colleagues who believe in this effort, who have supported us in this effort, whether it be Commissioner Bott, who before I was elected sat me at her home and pointed to the canal and educated me about the environmental challenges, the elevated levels of bacteria and nutrients that have plagued the canal for years, or whether it be Commissioner Magazine leading the Finance Committee and helping allocate the necessary funding in our city budget to prioritize our environmental values to restore water quality here. I believe we have about $8 million budgeted for this, specifically as it relates to water quality restoration. There's about another $10 million allocated or budgeted in town center for our upgrades to the sanitary sewer systems to make sure that we're able to be good stewards of this environment, good stewards of our community, and that we deliver to you the water quality you deserve. You've placed your trust in us, and we're reinvesting that trust into giving you what you deserve here for the environment. So thank you to my colleagues and to the city administration. Over the next few months, the next 6 months, you're going to be seeing enhanced cleaning throughout the basin. You're going to be seeing installation of sock filters to make sure that we're able to catch items before they make their way to the bay. We're studying the possibility of installing UV lights to disinfect the water before it makes its way into the canal, because these are the type of investments we need to make in order to ensure that we restore the water quality here. So thank you all for the unified effort, and we'll continue leading for a cleaner, safer, more beautiful community. Thank you all.
I'm just going to ride on Alex's coattails, as I often do, for a quick second. I wanted to give a very particular shout out to Amy Knowles, because when I was a resident here on Parkview Island, we had a citywide no contact water advisory. There was an accident someplace downtown a little bit, and the city was cleared out in 3 days, but Parkview Island wasn't, and it wasn't, and it wasn't, and it wasn't. And I reached out to to Amy's predecessor, who's no longer with the city, and she kept saying, oh, it's fine, it's not that high, oh, we just need to have 3 consecutive days in a row, we're getting 2 days of good testing, it's not a big deal, it'll be fine. I'm like, yeah, it smells like poop. And I've lived here for a few years. By that point, I'd lived there for 4 years, I think, and it literally smelled like poop, where it had never smelled that way before. Fast forward a number of years, Amy comes in, she starts looking into it, she starts really focusing on it. This other person is long gone, and may she live a happy, productive life elsewhere, but I'm much happier that Amy is here. And, and then we got a commission that was serious about it. As Alex mentioned, when he was running for office, I educated him, but I had to, figuratively bang on the table for anybody in that department, Amy's predecessor, to take this seriously. And so now the city is taking this extremely seriously, and there is a lot of money and a lot of resources, and the University of Miami is behind this, and there's no one single bullet, which is really frustrating because that means we can't fix it super easily. But with all these things, you guys have heard it ad nauseum, but I talk about a Swiss cheese theory of fixing things. Like, one slice of Swiss cheese doesn't do anything, and if you stack it up straight, it doesn't do anything. But if you layer your Swiss cheese in such a way that you block all the holes, you eventually get a very solid block. And that is what we're getting. And bit by bit, with all the things that Alex has talked about, we've identified a very hot spot at the school, which we're working on. We're getting there. So kudos to my colleagues on the commission, and to my colleagues on staff for really prioritizing and understanding how serious this is. Literally, this kayak launch has been closed for 5 years. My parents and I launched off of this, had a great paddle, and like the next day it was closed. So I can't wait to be here to reopen this thing. So let's make that happen sooner rather than later. Thank you.
Let's get to cleaning. This is a great turnout, and great to see so many people from the community.
You're going to have to wait for the best for last. I promise he'll be up here. But I also want to thank everybody. My name is Amy Knowles. I am the Chief Resilience Officer and Director for Environment and Sustainability, and I especially want to thank the Mayor and the City Commission, especially Commissioner Fernandez, Commissioner Bott, Mayor Minor. All of these commissioners have called me, have invited us to their offices to ask again and again and again what's wrong with Parkview and what can we do to solve it. And they have been interested and helpful, and even know how to spell and say enterococci now, which is the bacteria that we have a problem with it. So I think we're very hard pressed to find a commission and a city as passionate about water quality as we are. And I'm very proud of that. We've talked about the funding dedication, But it's not simple. Unfortunately, it's a bit complex, which is what we've learned. You mentioned it's been a problem for a long time, but unfortunately, we only have water quality data going back to 2019. So we don't really know how long. That's what the science tells us. But what the community tells us is that it looked better before, and there was more aquatic life here, and it was clearer. And so that is just as important as the science. So we want to get back to that. So here's what we know. It does not meet the standards for beach bathing, which is very strict standards, but that's what we want in our city. And we know we haven't met that for many years. However, on a positive note, it is getting better. Last year we met it more times than the year before, and we know between storm events, the water quality is much, much better on an order of magnitude of 30 times much better. So that's really important. So what we have done to infrastructure is our city has lined the different pipes. They have changed air release valves. They have hardened our wet wells, anything possible to take out any hairline, infill, exfill of sanitary sewer. And that's really important because there was never any major leaks happening. If that was the silver bullet, we could have solved that right away. So that's very important, and we have ruled that out. However, we don't control private properties. So there is a big push now to focus on private outfalls. We've engaged the regulators, we have written letters, we have had meetings, we have met the school board and their officials, not the school board, on site many times, and we're actually meeting with them weekly to offer them support to try to address their issues. So again, not perfect, but we're doing everything we can. So there's a few things we've figured out. One, the canal is very slow moving and has less flushing, for example, than the open ocean. All that means is that there's not as much circulation and it's harder to move things like pollutants. We also know that 81 acres actually drain into Parkview Canal. So when that was designed 70 years ago, that would not have been allowed today. That's a lot of stormwater effluent draining into the canals, and it's dragging with it anything you see from the streets, anything you see from private property. And so that's something that does degrade the water quality, and it's not okay. But they asked me to talk about science, and I really wanted to share that because it's important to know. And that's why we need Operation Clean Water. So thank you so much to Commissioner Fernandez. He's always pressing us as staff, what else can we do? And this is a blitz to really focus the community, and not only the community, but us as staff. If you look around, you have parks, you have code, you have homeless outreach, you have public works, you have my deputy, Lindsay. We have worked so hard on this since we discovered this issue. And I hope I didn't forget anyone, our communications team, for helping us with this. So we meet once a week or once every 2 weeks, and we go through every single item in the Clean Water Plan. What's happening with the outfalls? What's happening with the schools? What is happening with street sweeping? How can we improve that? We are looking for anything we can do to basically improve these issues. So you're going to see something soon called the Stormwater Influence Index, where we have every day assessors out looking at the roadways, looking at the sidewalks, looking at the drains, and grading ourselves from 1 to 6 and how clean it is, and reporting those items back to code. Code is doing weekly details. When you see them, please wave hello. I think last week they had 25 different inspections. They're issuing violations. We're focusing on open dumpsters that don't have drains, people in kitchens that are rinsing out their kitchen things and mats. They go right into the drains and right here into this canal. So I want to just note it's not a Parkview item. It is a North Beach item. It's a North Beach watershed. So please join us in Operation Clean Water. Call 305-604-CITY if you ever see anything, and we'll have our code team responding. So thank you so much for this opportunity and for being a part. And if you can ever need anything, please visit me or my deputy, Lindsay, and we're happy to talk to you about anything you may see or ideas or ways that we can all work on this together.
What are you doing about fertilizers on the properties around the?
So we're gonna introduce now Omar Jimenez, and I just want to recognize Omar because Omar, we are elected leaders, but he is the community leader. He is the community leader that is persistently reaching out to us, reminding us of how important this is throughout the year when we need to do cleanup, when we need to push on Durham to move forward with the dredging, when we need to reach out to the school board to give us access to their site to check their lines, when we need to make sure that we're putting money towards injection wells to really address this. Omar is the one that is pushing us, and it really is an honor to be collaborating with him, and I'm just so grateful, and I really think he deserves a big applause because he is representing this community really well. And so Omar, thank you for your leadership.
First of all, thank you all for being here today. This is not about me at all. This is about the community, and that's why I started this 5 years ago. It was really tough in the beginning because we really didn't know the full gravity of what was happening, right? And it's taken us quite a few years in order to get to where we are today. And I think that with the new commission and the new mayor since they came in, we've been really getting a lot more work done. But you know, I've never stopped from day one. We've really been going at it. I didn't just want to be a regular neighborhood association because of the location of where our island is and our neighborhood. I knew all of the changes that were coming here because I moved here in 2016 in anticipation of, you know, the development of the North Beach Master Plan and the North Beach CRA, which I am now a member of the advisory committee of the North Beach CRA, and I do the Parkview Island Sustainable Association, and I also do my own green environmental kind of consulting on the side, which is totally different. But what I'm trying to say is that I love this, and I really enjoy my time getting to do these events. I think most of the people here I'm on first base name basis with. I know all of you from forming relationships and meeting together for breakfast, or you know, getting together at my house or at a park to talk about these issues and come up with ideas of how we can improve our community. Because like some of you know, I really love the idea of creating a more resilient, more environmentally sustainable future that is more socially connected and with an emphasis on health and well-being. So I think that we're going in a great direction right now, but there's still a lot of work to do. And I'm very happy that, you know, Amy and all of the commissioners and everybody are working so hard on it, because you can really tell the difference of the work that's being done now and the progress that we're seeing now versus 5 years ago when we first started. So thank you all. You're really making the difference. I'm just your messenger at times, and at times I say, like, you know, I don't mean to be difficult, but I am being difficult, and it's like, how can you kind of balance that out? Yeah, the most important thing is that I always come with good intentions, right? So we want what's best for the community, and that's why we get together and talk about how we can make these events as best as possible. So for example, today we're not just doing a cleanup, we're also doing a tree planting, a celebration in honor, in homage of like one of our longest island residents that even went to Biscayne Beach Elementary in her time. Deborah Ruggiero, thank you so much for joining us and everything that you've done for the community over the years. And we're also, you know, working together with the community garden here in North Beach. I seen Pena was here a few minutes ago. Pena and the North Beach Gardeners, who are also part of our new North Beach collaborative group that we kicked off a few months ago. So we're all working collaboratively to make North Beach a greener, better infrastructure, blue-green infrastructure. That's what we focus on. But you know, the North Beach Garden, the cleanups, we've done over 100 cleanups since 2020. We've picked up over 15,000 pounds of trash. We've handed out over 1,500 hours of community service to local students in the area. And there's one more. Oh yeah, we won the Miami-Dade County Coastal Cleanup Award, I guess, for representing the environment. Last year is International Coastal Cleanup Day, which we've been doing for the last 4 years now. It takes place every September. So there's a wide variety of things that we've been doing, and our town hall meeting last week was full of items that I couldn't even believe that we've done that much work together in the community, because these are serious items. It's not just about picking up 200 pounds of trash right now. It's about replacing our aging infrastructure. It's about getting those projects funded that have been unfunded for so many years. And we're not just talking about like 5 million, we're talking about hundreds of millions of dollars that are gonna be needed in order to replace this infrastructure, not just here in Parkview Island, but all over North Beach, because it's a North Beach issue. So thank you so much for supporting me on this journey, for being a part of this journey, and I cannot wait for us to keep growing together as a community. Thank you. So we're gonna do the tree planting. As you can see right here to our right, it's a 7-year-old mahogany tree. It's planted because we had to give it to the Parks Department. They had to take care of it, and we didn't want it to suffer in the space of time that we were waiting for this event. So we planted it a few days ago, and we're going to be doing kind of like just a celebration, taking some photos on it now. But this is in homage and in absolute appreciation of Deborah Ruggiero. She's been prolific in this community, from environment, the arts, the youth, like so many different things. So we really look forward to this tree growing into a really strong tree that's gonna be seen by everybody when they're coming into the island and leaving the island every single day.
And it came from a seed from a mahogany on Parkview.
Right, so Deborah nurtured the tree. It's 7 years old. She found the seedling pod on a walk around the island, and so she had it on her patio in a planter or a pot that was like, roots were coming out of it. It was completely inadequate, so I was like, please let us plant it somewhere. And thank you to the Parks Department for being so incredible. Like, honestly, we couldn't do half the work we do without the support of the Parks Department. They support every single one of our cleanups, and they're always there for us. So again, thank you so much. But yeah, we're going to be doing the tree planting. Community garden is open if you'd like to do some tours. Pena, who is the leader of the community garden, is also with us. And any of you that are interested in doing a tour of the community garden, I would encourage you to do so, because the community garden is one of the biggest assets that we have here. Unfortunately, since the kayak launch has been closed for 5 years, we lost also the dog park, which was supposed to be built right next to the community garden a few years ago. So now we're trying to collaboratively work with the city to expand the garden, get some new equipment, and get some extra resources and support for the community garden. Because if we can't have our kayak launch, and if we can't have our dogs playing over here, well, what's the next best thing? Organic gardening to filter the water before it hits the water in the canal. So thank you, Pena, and thank you all of you for showing up.